Ladies and gentlemen, especially my seasoned friends who've traveled through airports many times, I want you to listen closely today. Air travel in 2025 isn't the same as it was 10 or 20 years ago. Security is tighter, the lines are longer, and even the smallest choices, like what you wear to the airport, can make a big difference in how smooth or stressful your trip becomes. I've seen this myself over the years, and I can tell you that some travel mistakes are not about tickets or baggage. They're about clothing, shoes, and little habits that make your journey harder than it needs to be. That's why today, I want to walk you through the mistakes that seniors should avoid when flying. Some of these may surprise you, and some may even remind you of times you've experienced discomfort yourself. Before we get started, I'd love to know, where are you watching from today? Just drop your state or city in the comments below. And while you're there, share the most uncomfortable outfit you've ever worn on a flight. Your story might help another traveler avoid the same mistake. Point 1. Heavy layers and bulky clothing. One of the biggest mistakes I see, especially among older travelers, is wearing too many layers or very heavy clothing at the airport. I understand why people do it. Many of you think, if I wear my thick sweater, heavy jacket, and maybe even an extra scarf, I won't have to pack them in my suitcase. It sounds practical, but in reality, it often backfires. Picture yourself standing in that long security line. The airport is warm, the crowd is big, and you're wrapped up in 3 or 4 layers. Before you even reach the scanner, you're sweating and uncomfortable. Then comes the hard part, taking it all off. Removing your jacket, scarf, maybe even boots, while trying to balance your bag and keep track of your ID, can be exhausting. I've watched many seniors get flustered in that moment, and it adds unnecessary stress before your trip has even begun. But the trouble doesn't end at security. Once you board the plane, that bulky coat or thick sweater becomes even more of a nuisance. Airplane cabins change temperatures quickly. At one moment, it feels warm and stuffy, and then the air conditioning kicks in and it feels chilly. If you're bundled up, you'll constantly be tugging at zippers, adjusting scarves, or trying to squeeze your coat into the already crowded seat space. And believe me, there is nothing worse than feeling trapped in heavy clothes during a long flight. Another issue that often goes unnoticed is the seatbelt. Thick coats can prevent the belt from fitting correctly across your lap. Instead of resting on your hips where it's meant to protect you, it can ride up onto your stomach or ribs. In turbulence, that small detail could matter for your safety. A much better approach is to dress in light, breathable layers, something like a soft cardigan or a thin zip-up sweater. These are easy to take off or put on as needed. If you must bring a heavier coat for your destination, carry it over your arm or tuck it in the overhead bin. This way, you'll breeze through security, stay comfortable on the plane, and travel without the unnecessary stress that bulky clothing creates. Point 2. Complicated shoes and footwear. Shoes may seem like a small detail, but they can make or break your travel experience. I've seen so many passengers, especially seniors, struggle at security checkpoints simply because of their footwear. Boots with long laces, high heels, or sandals might look fine at home, but in an airport, they become a problem very quickly. Let's start with security. When you're wearing lace-up boots or shoes with complicated straps, you'll have to bend down, untie them, and then put them back on while balancing your bags and ID. For many seniors, that's uncomfortable and stressful. And if you're in a rush, it can even make you late for boarding. High heels are another disaster waiting to happen. Airport floors are slick, and boarding bridges can be uneven. One misstep could lead to a painful fall, which is the last thing anyone needs before a flight. Sandals may feel like a better option, but they come with their own set of problems. They don't offer the support you need for those long airport walks, and your feet will feel sore before you even reach your gate. Plus, with so many people rolling heavy luggage around, it's easy for toes to get stubbed or injured when they're left unprotected. Another important point is swelling. Once you're in the air, the cabin pressure often causes feet to swell. Shoes that fit snugly on the ground can feel painfully tight during the flight. I've seen passengers struggle with circulation because their footwear cut off blood flow. The best solution is simple: slip-on walking shoes with good cushioning. They're easy to remove for security, comfortable for long walks, and forgiving when your feet swell at altitude. Many seniors swear by memory foam slip-ons or lightweight travel sneakers. Once you try them, you won't go back to complicated footwear again. Point 3. Tight and restrictive clothing. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see travelers make, and it can be especially dangerous for older adults. Tight clothes, whether it's skinny jeans, shapewear, or belts pulled too tight, may look neat, but they cause serious problems once you're sitting on a plane for hours. When you're in the air, your circulation naturally slows down because you're sitting still for a long stretch of time. Add tight fabric around your waist, thighs, or calves, and you're putting extra pressure on your blood flow. This is one of the reasons why some passengers experience swelling in their legs and ankles. In more serious cases, it can even increase the risk of blood clots, also known as deep vein thrombosis. I've seen flights where a passenger had to get medical attention mid-air because their clothing was so restrictive it caused sharp leg pain. That's not something you want to experience thousands of feet up. It's not only about health, though. Restrictive clothing also makes it harder to move around the cabin. Think about trying to squeeze past someone in a narrow aisle, or climb over your neighbor's seat to use the restroom, when your jeans are so tight you can barely bend your knees. It makes every little task more difficult. And when it comes time to rest, tight waistbands or stiff fabrics press into your skin, making it almost impossible to nap comfortably. The solution is to choose clothes that are soft, stretchy, and breathable. Loose-fitting pants, comfortable leggings, or travel joggers paired with a relaxed top are perfect choices. Fabrics like cotton or bamboo let your skin breathe, and elastic waistbands allow your body to adjust naturally if you experience swelling. Not only will you feel more relaxed, but you'll also look put together without sacrificing comfort. Point 4. Jewelry and metal accessories. Now let's talk about jewelry, belts, and other metal items. Many travelers don't think about this, but these small things can cause a lot of frustration at the airport. Every extra ring, necklace, bracelet, or watch is another chance of setting off alarms at security. And once that happens, you'll have to stop, take it all off, and go through the scanner again. For seniors, bending down to remove belts or unclasping bracelets in a hurry isn't just inconvenient, it can feel stressful and even unsafe. I've also seen people lose valuable items this way. In the rush of collecting belongings at security, rings slide under bins, watches get left behind, or necklaces break when tangled with bags. If the item is sentimental, like a wedding ring or family gift, the loss feels even heavier. That's not the kind of memory you want connected to your trip. Even on the plane, jewelry can cause problems. A watch band or bracelet can dig into your wrist when your arm swells a little at high altitude. Necklaces can catch on seatbelts or headphone wires, and large earrings can feel uncomfortable when you try to nap against the seat. Belts with heavy buckles aren't much better, they almost always set off scanners, and they're uncomfortable to adjust in a cramped seat. The best approach is to keep things simple. If you want to wear jewelry, stick to one small, lightweight piece, like stud earrings or a plain ring. Everything else can stay safe in your carry-on until you land. Choose a fabric belt or pants with an elastic waistband instead of one with a big metal buckle. This way, you'll breeze through security, avoid losing valuables, and stay comfortable during your flight. Traveling light isn't just about luggage, it's about the little details that make the journey easier. Point 5. Strong perfume or cologne. This one might surprise you, but it's one of the most common mistakes people make before flying. A strong perfume or cologne may feel like a finishing touch when you're leaving the house, but on a plane, it can turn into a real problem, for you and for everyone around you. Remember, when you're on board, you're sitting in a small, closed space with hundreds of other passengers. The air is recycled again and again. What smells pleasant in your living room can become overwhelming in the cabin. I still remember a flight where one gentleman had clearly put on far too much cologne. Within an hour, several passengers were coughing, one person's asthma flared up, and the whole cabin was uncomfortable for hours. There was simply no escape from the smell. For seniors, this is especially important. Many of your fellow travelers may be more sensitive to scents as they age. Strong perfumes can trigger migraines, nausea, or allergic reactions. And once the scent clings to your clothing or your seat, it doesn't go away for the rest of the trip. I've even seen passengers leave the plane, but the strong smell of their perfume stayed behind on the fabric for the next group of travelers. It's not just about others, either. Wearing heavy fragrance can also make you uncomfortable. Cabin air is dry, and mixed with perfume, it can start to feel sharp, chemical-like, and irritating to your nose and throat. A much better option is to go fragrance-free when you travel. Use a gentle deodorant, a light unscented lotion, or carry travel wipes to freshen up. If you want something pleasant, a small pack of peppermint mints works wonders. Your breath will stay fresh, and your seatmates will thank you. On a plane, the goal isn't to stand out with scent, it's to keep the journey pleasant for everyone. Point 6. Offensive or controversial graphics on clothing. This point may seem obvious, but it's one that too many travelers overlook. What you wear on your shirt, hat, or jacket can actually affect whether you're allowed to board your flight. In 2025, airlines are stricter than ever about preventing conflicts before they happen. That means clothing with offensive language, crude jokes, or political slogans can get you into trouble before you even step onto the plane. I've seen it myself. A man once showed up at the gate wearing a shirt with a very strong political message. Other passengers complained, and before long, the situation grew heated. Security had to step in, and the flight was delayed because of one t-shirt. In other cases, I've seen travelers asked to change or cover up before boarding. For seniors, who just want a peaceful, stress-free journey, this is the last kind of disruption you want to deal with. Even if your clothing isn't political, it's important to think about respect. Airlines are family environments. Children, grandparents, and business travelers all share the same space. A shirt with offensive humor might seem funny at home, but on a plane, it can cause discomfort and change the way staff and fellow passengers treat you. And believe me, being judged by your clothing can affect the service you receive. The truth is, airlines have the right to deny boarding if they feel your clothing could cause a problem in the cabin. It's not about personal freedom, it's about keeping everyone safe and calm in a small, shared space. The best choice is to keep things neutral. A plain t-shirt, a soft sweater, or even something travel-themed is always a smarter option than clothing that might stir up conflict. When you're flying, remember this, your outfit is part of the shared journey. Keep it simple, respectful, and conflict-free, and you'll avoid problems before they even start. Point 7. Pajamas, slippers, and sleepwear. Now, I know this one might feel a little personal because many of us love comfort, especially on long flights. Pajamas and slippers may seem like the easiest way to stay cozy, but they don't belong in the airport or on the plane. Let me explain why. First, safety. In the unlikely event of an emergency, pajamas and slippers do not give you the protection you need. Imagine having to evacuate quickly in thin flannel bottoms and soft slippers. You'd be cold, unprotected on rough surfaces, and far more likely to slip or hurt yourself. That's why flight crews are trained to notice when passengers are dressed in clothing that could make evacuation harder. Second, practicality. Pajamas might feel soft, but they aren't designed for travel. They don't offer proper support for long walks through terminals, and slippers wear your feet out quickly. Many pajama sets don't even have pockets, which means you'll struggle to keep your passport, boarding pass, or phone safe and accessible. I once saw a passenger misplace her phone 3 separate times between check-in and boarding because her sleepwear had no pockets. It caused her, and everyone traveling with her, unnecessary stress. Third, perception. Whether we like it or not, presentation matters. Passengers who look neat and comfortable, rather than as though they just rolled out of bed, tend to get treated with more respect by airport staff, security, and even fellow travelers. Pajamas can give the impression that you're not taking the journey seriously, and that can affect the service you receive. So what's the better choice? Aim for what I call elevated comfort. Think stretchy travel pants or joggers, a soft top, and a light cardigan. Add slip-on sneakers or cushioned flats, and you'll have the comfort of pajamas with the look of a traveler who's prepared. You'll feel good, look refreshed, and move safely no matter what happens during your flight. Point 8. Not packing a spare outfit in your carry-on. This one isn't about what you wear onto the plane, it's about what you don't bring with you. Many seniors travel long hours, sometimes with connections, and accidents happen. A spilled coffee, turbulence knocking over a drink, or even misplaced luggage can leave you uncomfortable for the rest of your journey. I've seen passengers sit through entire flights in damp, stained, or uncomfortable clothes because they didn't have a backup. For older adults, this can be more than an inconvenience, it can affect your health. Sitting in wet clothing for hours can make you cold, stiff, or even lead to irritation on your skin. And if your checked bag gets delayed, you don't want to be stuck without a fresh change of clothes. The solution is simple: always keep a lightweight spare outfit in your carry-on. A fresh shirt, a pair of socks, and maybe even a change of underwear can make all the difference. Choose something that's easy to roll up and doesn't take much space. If you want to be extra prepared, include a small travel pack of wet wipes and a plastic bag for soiled items. Changing into something clean mid-flight, or as soon as you land, can instantly make you feel refreshed and more confident. It's a small step that removes a lot of stress if something unexpected happens. Think of it as insurance for your comfort. You hope you won't need it, but if you do, you'll be glad you thought ahead. For seniors, peace of mind while traveling is priceless, and a spare outfit in your carry-on is one of the simplest ways to protect it. So there you have it, my friends, 9 of the most common clothing mistakes I've seen travelers make, and the simple ways you can avoid them. From heavy layers that slow you down at security, to shoes that hurt your feet mid-flight, to strong perfumes that make the whole cabin uncomfortable, every one of these choices affects how smooth or stressful your trip will be. And for seniors, comfort, safety, and peace of mind matter more than anything else. I want you to remember this: you've earned the right to travel with dignity and ease. You don't need to struggle with zippers, belts, or clothes that make your body ache. A few small adjustments can make flying not only easier but also far more enjoyable. Before you go, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What's the one travel outfit mistake you'll never make again? Share your story, because your experience might just help another senior traveler enjoy their journey a little more. And if you found these tips helpful, be sure to like this video and subscribe, where we talk about the little things that make a big difference in your daily life and your travels. Safe journeys, my friends. May your next flight be as smooth as the skies allow.